And everybody is muted.
Because I'm eating popcorn.
Oh, see, I just finished eating pizza.
Well,
Um,
yeah,
no,
me
Caroline, I
too.
was going to say it doesn't come through very often. It's just like every now and then you just kind of hear like it sounds like a car engine revving, but it happens like for 2 seconds and then it goes away.
Well, let me tell you, I was just like, yeah, I was on a call the other day. I was on a, well, I guess I don't know if I was Google Meet. Anyway, it was really loud. I thought this isn't good. So, yeah. Oh well. I really wish I was in headset. I think Stephen has the right idea, but I just when you they're going to start in just a second here. I think I'm going to just mute for a second. I need to take my you just tell me when you're ready to stream it.
Okay, I'm going to shut the door so we're not hearing the outside noise. And then I'll start counting us down. Okay, you can still hear me, Caroline?
I can.
Okay, I'm going to start streaming in 15 seconds.
Okay.
How about this? I just change it. I'll introduce you so you know when you.
Okay.
So there's a 30-second lag.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to start streaming in 15 seconds. 10, 5, 4, 3, 2.
Good evening, everybody. We are streaming live this evening for VR AR Chicago. What's pretty unique about tonight is that I am here as an avatar, as well as you see me on the screen behind me on a webcam. I'm located in Maine. That's right, Maine. And we have a whole host of folks on the other side in Chicago who are celebrating the VR/AR Chicago Demo Day. What's so extraordinary about today is that we have a dozen startup founders from a variety of different industry verticals that are all leveraging the power of immersive technology. So tonight, I just want to take a little bit of time to tell you a little bit about VR/AR Chicago. We have this organization has now been going for 7 years, and we hold monthly events, and we really leverage and challenge the whole idea of immersive technology. Not only do we have in-person events in Chicago at places like the awesome 1871, but we also do simultaneous streaming as well as virtual immersive attendance in many platforms. This one tonight, we're here on the Verbella FrameVR.io platform. What's unique about this is that we literally are in two places across several platforms at the same time. And you're really going to start to see this more and more as business and enterprise begin to leverage these technologies. So my name is Caroline Dennis. I'm excited to be able to have and host these incredible founders tonight. And you're going to get to hear from some incredible technologies and discoveries about how people are using this tech. So I would like to first queue up we have our first founder, and that's, are we ready, Ron, for you today to start up here?
We're not yet.
Okay.
There's a lot of activity in the hallway, and they're struggling to get in because they're having so many conversations to get to the studio.
Well, and that's a great segue here to say that we have over 60 people right now who are in 1871. And we also are streaming live over Twitch and YouTube. So this is the kind of meeting that you will continue to see as we get closer to enterprise really embracing this technology. And we have some folks here in the audience here that come to our meetings every month. Welcome Stephen Kirk, who also is on a Quest 3 headset right now. So he's using his headset to be here in this environment frame. And then we have Michael, who has been very instrumental in the platform Verbella, which is another platform that is a sister platform to Frame. But one of the things I think that's so interesting is that how brands are looking at how do they meet their customers? Where do they meet their customers? The ways that we use this, and I know you can hopefully see this, maybe you can't in my webcam, but I'm holding my phone up. Right, so now we have this incredible opportunity to be able to leverage augmented reality in a whole host of different ways. And not just that, we can be able to use both augmented reality and physical reality to be involved in both at the same time. And it's one of those technologies that's really difficult to picture until you try it. And that's really what the impetus of this event was, because we do so many different events each month, and we give people the chance to hear from the leaders in those industries. And Matt Wren, who is our founder, is somebody who has always been working in this space for over 20 years. So it really is expanding the way brands, and not just brands, healthcare, everyone is using these technologies to both educate and introduce and be able to reach audiences that they otherwise could never reach. So I get very excited about this tech. I also find that Frame, the platform that we're in right now, is so much fun. And I will have the chance here as we get in between speakers to change my avatar, and you'll see that because I can completely do that on the fly. It's pretty awesome. And then we're excited to have the team members in Chicago who are helping to put this on. Tom Packard, Patrick O'Shaughnessy and others. And I really want to thank everybody from our advisory board for helping to pull this off, because this is no small feat. The way that the audio functions in the room, all these details, it takes quite a bit of coordinating to make this happen. And I just want to also encourage everybody, we are a nonprofit. These things are not done for free. We all donate our time. So there are opportunities to be able to support VRA or Chicago, and I highly encourage you to do that. And we will share information in the chat here. And I have been heard from a very reliable source that they will be giving away a Quest 3 tonight in person, only for those in person, in Chicago at 8 o'clock. So if you're tuning in there, or you are on site, then you need to stick around until 8 o'clock, because that'll go to some lucky winner. And Stephen, my colleague here, has just said that the environment enriched in that Quest 3 is even better than the Quest 2. So we're pretty excited about it. We really appreciate Meta's participation in this, and all of the founders. So I'm excited to get started here, and yeah, stay tuned.
We've got Ron seated, Caroline, who is going to kick us off with a presentation.
No presentation.
No presentation on video only.
Okay, sounds great. I would like to turn this over to Ron Podzensky, and just so you know a little bit about them, they are for merchants who want to improve their e-commerce performance. Envision provides cost-effective augmented reality virtual product previews as a service that helps shoppers visualize products in and around their homes, giving them a greater confidence to complete purchase of goods that may otherwise they be reluctant to shop online. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Ron. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here today. And I don't have a visual presentation, so just going to be chatting a bit about the problem we solve and how we solve it. So you can find us at nvzn.net, and that's pronounced Envision. And so as you alluded to in the introduction, we provide virtual product previews as a service for e-commerce merchants. So if you're like most people, when you're shopping for stuff online, especially things that have a strong relationship to space, size, volume, scale, decor, and price is an important factor as well. Making that purchase decision based on the tiny images on the e-commerce page carousel can be really difficult, especially if you're thinking about buying a sofa online. And more and more furniture sales are going online, and as a result, a lot of physical furniture stores are closing. So people have to start getting used to shopping online, where you can't actually put your hands on the product. And that can be really difficult for most people. So what our service does is we use 3D models of products that we package into an experience. So let's say you're shopping for a sofa and you're on the product page for that sofa. You'll see a little call to action button on the page that says view in your room. And if you're shopping on your smartphone, you'll tap that. It'll open a 3D viewer of that for that product, so you can interact with the product in 3D first by zooming in, spinning it around, looking at it from any angle, and closely examining detail. And then from there, there's another call to action for view in your room. You tap that, it opens your camera on your smartphone. The camera then product at real scale. You can then slide it into place, rotate it, try it in different positions, and then in many cases, even try it in different colors and so forth. So this isn't just about furniture. We have customers that are selling everything from shoes to toilets to cabinetry hardware to art, which is a very powerful virtual shopping experience. So
That's awesome, Ron. I love how it's something that you can just use and interact with on your phone, and you probably can do that independently just on your own, which just enriches the whole process. So that's super cool. Super cool.
yes. So right now, our solutions are available on Shopify, and soon they'll also be available on WooCommerce in their various in their respective solution stores. So
That's great. And I did read, and just for folks in the future to check them out, is that they just got essentially a badge of certification from Shopify, which sort of gives you that extra assurance of them working as a vendor. And I understand there's a process to that, Ron, that you had to go through to do that.
that's right. So that badge is known as Built for Shopify, and our solution has been put through rigorous quality control testing by Shopify to ensure that it meets their highest standards. So there are like 9,000 apps in the Shopify App Store for merchants to add to their site. At the time, I don't know what the count is right now, but at the time when we earned that, we were only like the 300th app to earn that certification. So it's a big deal. And it tells merchants that they will have a good experience with our app.
Well, and it's so widespread. I mean, Shopify is everywhere. So these are the kind of cool collaborations that we're going to continue to see in this industry, where it will be seamless for you to be able to get that app and interface with Shopify, which really to me is where the power of this tech can really go far. So Ron, thank you. That's incredible. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your being here. Yeah.
Yes, it's a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, great. So Envision's stuff, as he said, is Envision NV. Whoops, I shouldn't misspell that, the name of their website, but you can go and find them on their website, and there's much more information. And you can also find Ron on LinkedIn. I know that he's on LinkedIn as well. So yeah, happy to have him here tonight. And we're getting ready to have our second guest, which is going to come up in just a second. So stay tuned. We're just second into this roll of really incredible companies. Patrick O'Shaughnessy is going to join us next. He's from Patched Reality. So stay tuned. We'll be right here. All right. There is Patrick himself. I see him. He probably can't hear me right now, but
I can hear you.
Excellent. Well, I'd like to take a second and welcome you, Patrick. Patrick O'Shaughnessy, let's just say he's been in this industry for a very long time. I'm not going to comment on ages here, Patrick, but really somebody who has...
very young when I started. I started when I was a baby. 15 years old.
Well, this company that you have, this studio that you have built is a multi-award winner and really has stayed at the forefront of XR experience production. You've helped clients across a variety of industries. I'd love to unpack that a little bit, just navigating this, because there's never a simple ask here. The engagements are really a lot about helping clients understand what is it that they can do with this technology and how do they get there. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Patrick, but we're really excited to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you, Paula. I'm really glad to be here. So yeah, Patched Reality is a company that I founded. We're a small mixed reality strategy and development studio, and we help our clients with any of their custom AR and VR development needs. We've been in the business since 2009. We started with black and white markers pointed at webcams, and now today we're showing off Vision Pro and Quest 3 apps that we've built. This is just some obligatory client as well. But we're just very passionate about the space, and we're not going anywhere. So today, this is our contact info. I'm just going to leave that up for 30 seconds for people that replay the video so they can get to where we're at. But then I'm just going to show a small video, a quick video of what we're showing today at Demo Day.
Awesome.
For those that weren't able to make it in person, if this works, let's see. Open with player. Are you able to see that? Oops.
Yes. Oh, at this point, almost. I see you're almost queuing it up there. See, now this is the superpower of Frame. Here we are with, I've got Patrick on one side and screen and I'm on another, and then he can show a video going live. Okay, very cool.
Let's see. I want to try and get it full screen. It won't full screen.
Yeah, I'd love to hear you unpack this for us. I'll let you go ahead and get that full screen.
I want to do a full screen.
I won't let you go.
What?
Is it seeing two screens?
No, it's just seeing one small screen. I hit the wrong. Yeah, there we go. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's big enough, probably. There we go. Can you see that one?
I can. So tell me what's
Okay.
going on here.
So this is an app that we made for Reach, for Triad Labs, and it's an app called Reach Shoulder Health. You can download it now. It works on Quest 2 and Quest 3. And the way it works is we have 5 different little mini games in it. The first mini game is one called Firefly Assessment, where we go in and you just catch these fireflies, and that gives us information using the controllers. We're able to very accurately track where your hands are in 3D and record that information, and that gives us a really good idea of the current volume that you can reach and what your current status of your health is. And we take that information. You see this game that we're showing here is Tube Trouble. All those tubes were drawn based on data that we had captured earlier about which points in space you can reach. And so that one helps people with frozen shoulder or other mobility issues. They can work with a therapist, and the therapist gets to see on a dashboard all of the information because we're recording in real time everywhere your hands go in 3D.
So Patrick, does that mean that the person can be standing in their living room doing this with a therapist who is located somewhere else, or is this that they do that?
Completely, they do it on their own. But
That's
we
awesome.
do track how long each session is. We track volume over time, accuracy, speed, all of that, and then it all shows up on a dashboard that they can review with their therapist at their therapy appointments. And it's a way of making it fun to do the therapy that you know you're supposed to do. So we've been working with that client almost 2 years.
Awesome.
We built 4 games for them, I think, in that same. It's like a whole suite of fun games. And then today we're showing off what we're calling the working title Wizard Ball, which is a game that. Where's my mouse? My mouse has stopped working. Okay.
I see it.
You see it?
Oh, you're probably on 2 screens.
I don't know. Maybe. No, it's frozen. Oh, damn it. Wonderful. It's frozen. It's completely frozen. I should have just let it.
Well, as you know, there it is. It's back.
Yeah, no, but it's not actually playing.
It's not. Okay. Well, so I want to say that, those of us who've been in this industry also know that in order to get progress here, we have to take these steps. And sometimes, as we know, we've been in other platforms, this happens. So things get a little glitchy here and there. But where could someone see this kind of video, Patrick, if they wanted to go find it themselves? Could they find it?
To my LinkedIn feed. You can go to my LinkedIn.
Okay.
Patrick O'Shaughnessy, and I just posted the latest post. I'm rebooting my machine. How much time do I have left? I can take some questions while it's rebooting if anyone has any questions.
We're about 15 seconds over, but I'm not controlling the clock. The person is controlling the clock.
Oh, wonderful.
Well, so I got questions for you, Patrick, and that is, as you've worked with, say, healthcare, how do the healthcare companies interpret what you do? And is this let's say, a physical therapy clinic that was able to utilize this game? Tell me a little bit about that, because for those of us in the audience who haven't engaged in any kind of project like this, it's a little daunting in the beginning. So help us understand how that works.
So we kind of act as almost like the virtual this startup called Reach VR. They have all the existing relationships with health clinics, and
Right.
they have what they do very well, which is market their software, and they set up all the subscriptions and all that. And what we help them do is figure out. Just one second. Help them figure out what would from a user perspective be a delightful game, for instance, and how should we put the VR menus so it's most intuitive, and what should the game mechanics be in each game. So that's what we help them with, and then we also do the development of that.
And I feel like game mechanics today has become so sophisticated that it really is important to have the skill sets when you're going into something like that, where someone not only understands what the problem is, but understands how different game mechanics work. And that's an area that's somewhat elusive to me, because I've been learning a little bit at a time over time, but you got that training kind of early on, it sounds like.
Yeah, we actually, my co-founder and I both have a background in games. He actually was a game designer by trade and a UX developer or UX designer, and so we kind of work well together. I do a lot of the tech side of things. He does a lot of the UX, UI design, and business development, that kind of thing.
Right.
And I've got it queued up now.
Okay,
Here we go.
super.
There we go. This is Wizard Ball. So this is an app that we built native Swift using Reality Kit on the Vision Pro, and it stopped again. Oh my God! What the hell? So anyway, so the idea is that you have this ball. It's in your space. It uses all of your space, and you can control this ball with a fairly novel control mechanism. You can use your fist to control the ball. You can bat at the ball. You're trying to collect these. It's like kind of like a 3D Pac-Man, and it's a lot of fun. Which you could see if the video would play, and my computer wasn't locking up for whatever reason.
Yeah. So where can we find you? Where can we find you?
We
can find you.
Patchedreality.com.
Okay.
Or go to my LinkedIn and the videos there. But yeah. Thank you very much for your time.
Oh, thank you for coming, Patrick. Yeah, we're real excited, and I hope that all of you will check out his website. And really, he's one of the best in the industries. And you can also see him at AWE in a couple of weeks. So actually, not a couple of weeks, really soon. And if for those who don't know, AWE is really the industry conference of the year, and it's taking place in California, and it's an incredible, if you ever get the opportunity to attend. These events that we do with VRAR Chicago are actually AWE live events, and we're really proud to be involved with AWE, and they do so much for the industry. So we are ready for our next presenter, and I'm really excited to have, and I'm going to hopefully pronounce his last name correctly, Thomas Le. No, I just wrecked it. So I'm so sorry, Thomas. I'm going to have you say your name for me. Apologies. Welcome. It's so great to have you here.
Thank you. And it's actually pronounced Le Boris, but it's a French name, so.
Le Boris. Okay. It's beautiful. I love it. Well, let me just say just a few words. I'll be very quick because I'd like to give people a sense of the work that you do. So TechViz is really it's an editor with a strong expertise in virtual reality and 3D visualization. And I'm going to let Thomas describe that a little bit more, but they're based in Paris, and they have a kind of a cool thing that I found when I was researching them is it's really looking at just a whole bunch of different industries, but really in the oil and gas industry. And I saw a demo, which was incredible. And I'd love, hopefully, for you to share a little bit about what that's like for someone to be able to prototype these kinds of projects in real time. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about TechViz? Thanks, Thomas.
Thanks for the introduction. So as you said, TechViz is a French company. We are actually a 20 years old company, and we've been working for 20 years with people all around the world with all types of use cases in all types of industries. the TechVis software actually that we provide actually allows you to visualize in VR any 3D content coming from the native CAD application without any data conversion. So you can instantly see any modification, anything that appears in your app, and we can display that on any kind of device. So it's a pretty flexible solution. Um, as I was saying, we are multi-device, so we can work with any type of headset on the market and any type of immersive room, walls, you name it. But we also work with a lot of different applications. So yeah, we
That's a
usually
lot of applications.
yeah
So
yeah
that blows my mind. So
yeah. I don't have
you are
all
the
of them.
interface, you're the
I don't
interface layer to that, it looks like, right? You're the platform that can, the infrastructure layer that can interact with those. Is that
Yeah,
right?
we act kind of like a middleware between the app and the VR
Yeah.
device. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And
and
I guess
yeah,
I would be interested to know of those, that's so much development to be able to really be that middleware with all of those. I think that's an
yeah,
impressive feat in and of itself, I gotta say.
yeah. We have a R&D team working in our office in Paris with a lot of experts in different fields to be able to get compatible with each of these VR device, each of these CAD application. It's, and it's also coming from the different clients we work with that come with their use cases and the need to work with a specific device or a specific application, and we try to adapt to that because of our expertise in that field. Yeah, and so the TechVis application, even with this whole that's background or explanation that could seem a bit complicated, is actually pretty simple to use. You only open your 3D app as usual and open TechVis on the side, and in a few clicks you can launch your your 3D model in VR and navigate in it using the wide range of features we have to interact with your model. So here are the few main use cases we have using TechVis. It goes from basic 3D visualization, VR visualization, and design reviews to more advanced ergonomics, accessibility scenarios, maintenance scenarios, and so on.
And
And
I
as
would
it works,
imagine on
yeah.
the oil and gas side of it, I'm curious, what are some of those simulations doing? Is that anticipating the building process so that all of the teams can collaborate together in real time?
Yeah, we have some of that. For instance, when you want to build a large factory factory linked to this oil and gas industry, you need to make sure that all the equipment is fitting all together. So you can display this in VR to see the mistakes that can be seen in a basic in a normal 2D screen. You can also visit the whole building, navigate in it before it's actually constructed because you have no prototype of it.
Right.
And you have also ergonomics and maintenance scenarios to be able to repair these machines that haven't been constructed yet, built yet. It's pretty helpful to be able to train on how to maintain them, how to repair them before they exist.
Yeah, and I would imagine in the industrial engineering world, because there's so many large scale equipment that
Yeah,
people have to travel across the world, and we are at a place where many of those jobs and those careers they're not able to find the workforce that they need. So I could see this being very applicable for building out that workforce across
yeah.
all of those industrial infrastructure kinds of roles. I'm curious about the architecture side, the CAD side. We've done some stuff on architecture and construction. Where do you see that industry? Do you see that they're adapting and adopting this, or are we still? Do we have some way to go there for architects to realize that they have to learn these tools?
Yeah, they are definitely realizing that it could be a major improvement in this industry.
Mhm.
We have a lot of different use cases coming at us in this field, but
Mhm.
unfortunately, it takes time to get. I'd say that to get them to start using that.
Right.
I would say we are still in the beginnings of this
Right.
conversation.
Right. But you have far, far more coverage than many companies do with all those apps that you can work with. So that's
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah, we offer a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, that's great.
to work with
Well, I'm really excited about this and looking forward to it. And where can people find you?
We have a website, which is www.techviz.net, and we also have a YouTube channel where you can see a lot of different use cases and how we work with
Very cool.
different
Very
scenarios
cool.
and different industries. And
That's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming, Thomas. We really
Thank you.
appreciate it, and we're excited. And I wish I was in Chicago so I could see all this stuff up close. But thanks again.
thank
All
you.
right, folks, we're getting ready for our next presenter, and we're really excited to have with us. This one is really interesting to me. It's a company that's doing really good work in the future of work and also hands-on training. And Janice Barnes is joining us from Transfer, and that's TRANSFR. This is something that to me is really important, and I've been involved with career pathway development. We really need to have better ways for students and professionals to discover careers in these industries by having hands-on experiences. So I'm excited to have Janice here with us. And as soon as you're ready to go, Janice, welcome. We're so happy that you're here tonight. And take it away. And even if you have, oh great, your deck is right up there and ready to go. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm with Transfer, and we create virtual reality simulations for both career exploration and job skills training. And I do have a quick
Awesome.
video that I can show that just gives an overview of what the simulations look like and who we are. So if you'd like, I can do that, and then we do some talking on their side. It's just
That sounds great.
a minute and a half. Or
Yeah. Super.
Transfer brings the future of training to your organization with hands-on simulations that equip learners with essential skills they'll need to enter a new career. Trainees move at their own pace through the hands-on simulations where they gain valuable experience and can make mistakes in a safe.
That's all right. It's catching up. It's catching up. Yeah. Well, and I think that whole idea of just the magnitude of what that means for career development today, it's massive. And I just think that I actually just was speaking with somebody who is actually in the, there we go. Keep going. Yeah. I won't interrupt.
Okay.
Well,
There.
I will tell you that I just talked to somebody who's in the correctional arena, and I understand that you have some things that you have helped in terms of the those incarcerated. And I don't know if that's true, but that's another area that we know that we have people who need to have job skills when they get out, and I just think that's really important. So tell me a little bit. These you seem to have a lot of different career pathways that you offer so that people can try out.
We do. So we have the career explorations, and that is where it's a 5-minute a day in the life of simulation.
Okay.
So that people can see what is it like to
We might have lost your audio just now for some reason. Here we are. See, we're winging it here with ARVR Chicago.
with the
There we go.
incarcerated individuals. Here they can do
Yeah.
all of these different tasks without needing any materials other than their virtual reality headset and a Wi-Fi connection.
And that's really important because what I've learned too is that it's very difficult to have devices in those environments. So they might be learning about how to, let's say, troubleshoot computers or do different things in factories, and they just don't have the ability to do them hands-on in an environment. So it's especially important for that. Well, that's amazing. How many professions does transfer really cover in terms of those simulations?
We have approximately 30 simulations that are career explorations. So many
Okay.
different fields,
Right.
construction, electrical, welding, healthcare,
Right.
just to name a very few, but we're creating those all the time. But it's
That's
just
great.
looking for careers that will allow people to find well-paying jobs in high-demand fields.
Right. Right. I think medical technology is another one that's so needed, and there are all kinds of programs out there, but really there aren't many that actually give somebody an idea. And I think that's so important for those kinds of careers, especially because things are changing so big, so quickly. So,
Right. And a lot of these careers people may not even know are out there, or they don't know what skills they need for those careers. So it's a great
right.
way to connect people with jobs.
And can you tell me what age of students for those schools that have had those available to them? What are we talking about? Are we talking about middle school, high school, college?
All of the above. Yeah.
All of the
Middle
above.
school, high school, college, after college, before, instead
Yep.
of, all these different ages, adults even who are looking
Right.
to do something new, or maybe someone who's incarcerated and they want to start their life.
Right.
Many
Right.
ways.
I'm really interested also in thinking about, I think as we look at how our skills-based and competency-based education develops, is how we're going to start seeing credentials, badges, and having those be recognized across industries. I think we're getting there, and I think that this is just exactly the kind of example of a use case that we need to have this because students want to have a way to prove, hey, I went through this training, and have all of that captured in one place. So I'm excited for
Absolutely.
that evolution to develop as well.
And we're
And you're
currently working on doing some micro-credentialing.
very
So
great.
it's in the works, but
Yeah.
that's something that we recognize too is really important.
Right, right. And are there webinars and things that people can tune into that you might be holding at Transfer to get a little bit more familiar if they're maybe interested in exploring that for their own company or in some capacity?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes. So we have on our website, it's just Transfer, TRANSFR.
FR.
Yes.
Drop the E.
Drop the E. And we offer all kinds of information there, as well as webinars and even some different events that we have stored. So you'd be able to also
Right.
look back at some of those too.
Right, right, right. That's great. And the devices that you work with, so you work with headsets primarily, other
Yeah.
glasses, other products, or just primarily on headset?
So it's any of the Meta Quest 2 and 3 Pico devices.
Yep.
But we can always talk about what somebody is using and see the compatibility. But it's
Right.
all about being able to take that software and have it downloaded on the headset. So all you need is the headset with the software in it and Wi-Fi, and you're good to go.
That's really great. Janice, this is great. And so people can find you on transfer.com.
Yes.
Or I'm guessing you're also on LinkedIn. So I encourage folks to reach out. This is the kind of company that we're going to continue to see expand, not just from education, right, but so many other industries. So it's very,
Absolutely.
very exciting. And like we always say in VR is you have to try it.
Yes.
You just have to try it until you go, aha, now I get it. That's the way it
You
works.
see the aha moment over and over and over.
Yes.
Yes.
I think I played the culinary game inside of the Steam app, like a zillion. My son, who at the time, because we've had headsets for a long time, it was so fun. And here it is. I'm playing this like little food game with like making and cooking, and oh, it's burning, and I need to get it out of the oven.
And this
It's
is how you
awesome.
measure. And,
I know. That's great. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Janice. I
Thank
hope
you.
everybody goes and finds her tonight at this event. This is very exciting. We really appreciate it. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Well, we're just powering through these. So that was Janice Barnes with Transfer. Next up, we have Nick Pinchuk, and that's Z-Space. And that's another one that I'm really interested in because, again, I've been involved with STEM and STEAM education and career development. They are also building experiential learning, which really we know is how learners are most engaged. And they have, it's a solution called Inspire, Z-Space Inspire, and it's a comprehensive solution, and it has Windows-based AR/VR laptops, software, standards-aligned content, and professional development. We know that standards are the bar for many educational institutions. So it's a very high definition display, and I'm looking forward to hearing Nick talk about this product. But really, he's doing work in the health sciences, advanced manufacturing, transportation, agri-science, and computer science. So I'm excited to hear about this one, and just seems like the breadth of content and that mixture with standards of schools is great. So Patrick, let me hopefully turn it over to you if you can hear me all right and your audio is working all right.
This is Nick.
Sorry. Did I say, I met Nick. Yes, I did say Nick earlier. Sorry.
That's okay.
Very nice.
Caroline, right?
Yes, Caroline, welcome. And thank you so much for being here tonight.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're waiting for my screen to load.
That's okay. In the meantime, you all are based. Oh, there we go. Terrific. I can see it now.
Should I get started?
Yes. Sounds great.
Thank you, Caroline. Thank you, everyone who's watching. My name is Nick Pinchuk. I am the Regional Sales Director for Z-Space in the Midwest. I'm based in Wheaton, Illinois, outside of Chicago. I've been with Z-Space for 9 years, and Z-Space has been around for 16 years. So what Z-Space is a non-head mounted device, 3D and holographic teaching and learning system. We got our start through the Department of Defense about 16 years ago. They knew some of our early founders, and they had a background in VR and military, and they said, could you build us a 3D map reading program? We want to enter into a map for 3 dimensions, but we don't want this. So we make high stakes, small groups decisions, very collaborative in real time, and we just don't want any disruption. And our founder said, sure. Took a little time, and we did it. We built this system. They use it. They're still using it all over the world. And then after we cracked the code on the technology, we approached a lot of industries. Our second customer was Stanford Medical School in their high-risk surgery group. And they are known for doing a very complicated conjoined twin surgery separation. And what they did was they took their little bodies and scanned them and pulled those DICOM files off the screen for 2 years to determine where and when to surgically separate them. And just think of everything that's been diagnosed on a flat screen forever. Wow. So they said it led to a safer, faster, more accurate surgery. We can't take full credit for that, but it was very powerful. About 10 years ago, the company decided to move into the education space, K through 16. So as hopefully you've been seeing in this video on the screen, and I'm just at zspace.com, please go there. Check out the site. There's lots of good information. You can see these students and teachers pulling engines off the screen, animals. I botched a frog dissection in high school. I wish I could have practiced before I did it. There's no way to practice virtually. You can use mechanical equipment, human body systems, animal systems, cells and viruses. It just really brings it to life. It's very experiential. It's personalized because you're holding something virtually and you're having a personal connection.
I like that idea of having a pen that you're holding while you're interfacing with that tablet. I saw that in one of the videos that you had online.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's more than just watching. So that
right. No, but it's experiencing, and you have something to physically hold, which is
exactly.
I think it's something that people probably feel comfortable with already. So they're doing that already. So it really, that's great.
Yes. So I'm just going to jump real quickly. I'm going to click on educators
Sure.
at the top. If there's any educators out there, you can look at lessons by subject. So we already have pre-made models and, more importantly, activities that are in all these different content areas: life science, earth and space science, physical sciences, arts, social studies. If I go back, I can also do work in workforce development. So we have put a lot of emphasis in this the last 5+ years, getting people ready for the automotive industry, the medical industry, for manufacturing, for the trade. So we have programs and applications that do this that are very experiential. And we also can go state by state and say, these are lessons that align to your state standards in science.
That's really valuable. So you can search your own state and understand what those standards are and then find things that are relevant to the standard in your state.
Yep, I clicked on Illinois, and these are things that students can do tomorrow in kindergarten all the way up through 12th grade.
Fantastic. And tell me, when you have, because the industries are changing so quickly, how do you handle that? Do you build new simulations, or can you optimize the existing ones that are out there?
That's an excellent question, Caroline. So one of our most popular programs is called Visible Body Plus. This is a company out of Boston that has for years made the anatomy program for medical school students. My niece was in medical school. She had Visible Body on her iPad.
Right.
So she used it to learn human body systems,
Yep.
circulatory, muscular, etc. It didn't come off the screen. So they just
Right.
ported that whole program over to zSpace. So we can't have enough software partners, and we can't have enough software developers working with us. So anyone can contact me or our company if they have an app that already exists or want to build one for a use case.
That's really valuable, because I think then you're not losing all of that human capital that it took to build those and making something better in its existing state.
Yes, and I didn't say it. These are Unity programs.
Okay.
That is most of what we do. There's other options, but if there's
Right.
a Unity program that exists, it can run on a headset, it can run on a phone, and it's zSpace.
And everybody I know in this environment knows Unity, but just so folks who are not familiar with Unity, is really one of the dominant, most functional, elaborate platforms there are out there. And there are certainly others, but that one is definitely a market leader in terms of that. And they have a huge learning ecosystem that I'm sure that you all are deeply involved in and entrenched in. So no, that's incredible. And I'd be interested to know if sort of some of those things will take on a gamified effect too, especially in the human body and the anatomy stuff, because I know some companies that have built games around that as well.
Yes, we can build things and take things apart and have lots of cause and effect. And these are gamified systems to learners because it feels
Right.
game-like. And
Right.
so we don't necessarily say it's just a gaming system, but
Right.
depending on the program, based on what I'm doing, I can build a hydraulic system and see it work and not work and troubleshoot. There's gaming aspects to it.
That's awesome. And then on that same, I just wanted to ask you on that same idea of being able to have standards, do you have credentials that you also can build into these as you accomplish certain modules? Because I feel like that's what we all need in our, in our competency learning based world that we're now in.
Yes, great question. So on this screen are the different career tech and workforce development areas we work in.
Okay.
We have partnered
Wow.
with certification companies to align to their
Okay.
tests.
Right.
If I'm a nurse or an EMT, we still want people to hold someone's hand, so it may not complete every piece of what would be required to work in that environment,
Right.
but the skill building is absolutely certification aligned.
That's great. You got anything there in cybersecurity? My son and my husband and I have built that. We've been in that industry a long time. And it is a complex one.
Can you get me in touch with your son so we can port that over?
Oh yeah, well actually they're building a quest right now for DEF CON, which is the largest hacker conference in the world.
Sure.
And they're doing it, which is how you learn things. So it's actually, it could be actually they have a bunch of people that build those each year. So they are physical. You go out into the conference and you have to find things and you have to collaborate with people. But I could see that being really sweet to turn that into this kind of thing. So definitely, we should talk.
We'd love to. We need a better cybersecurity option.
Yeah. Well, it's a complicated Pandora's box, that one.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. This is
My
incredible. Do you have
pleasure.
anything else you'd like to show us?
I think I've gone over. So
Okay.
thank you for your time, Caroline, and everyone listening.
Terrific. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. And for those of you, as you might have heard, you can find them at ZSpace, and that's Nick Pinchuk, and he's also, I know, on LinkedIn. So thank you so much, Nick. We're really excited to have you here. Next up, we have Scott Lynch from Voyeur. And this one is really interesting. I actually saw something about a new meta project called the Faceless Lady, and they have been involved in some of that piece of it. But Voyeur produces high-end immersive cinema content for virtual reality headsets. Working at the intersection of storytelling, technology, interactivity, they help clients navigate the ever-changing landscape of XR for them to create amazing projects. They're headquartered in Chi-Town in Chicago and filming worldwide. So they've worked with Fortune 500 companies, nonprofits, and technology companies to create custom content and distribution solutions together to tell new stories with immersive technology. Scott, we're really excited to have you here today. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I'll just jump into it. So
Super.
thanks for the great introduction. So I'm really going to just talk about like immersive cinema. That's sort of the format that we specialize in. So my whole team is really, their background is in storytelling and filmmaking. So we have basically brought all of those skills and kind of that technology, and we're bringing it into. So my name is Scott Lynch, and I am the head of XR at Voyeur, a company I founded back in 2000, well, officially in 2019. So what do we work on? So these are kind of 3 examples of projects that we are showing here at the in-person event. And the kind of content that we can produce sort of runs the gamut. Like on the left side there, we have a documentary that was filmed that's about immigrants and refugees in Central America. And then we have The Faceless Lady, which is primarily what I'm going to talk about. I was the VFX supervisor for Meta, the post VFX supervisor. So that is sort of like Meta's version of what a TV show might be like, or kind of like we're working on what that language is. And then we also do work for large corporate clients like Samsung. So we're showing off a training video that they use internally to train people about some of their technology. But we're going to really focus on just The Faceless Lady, which is this piece of content. And so I'm going to
sorry to interrupt. Let me just interrupt for just 1 second. And just so our audience understands the VFX, and tell us about that role. What is it that you do for that role?
So VFX is essentially in VR, basically, unlike a traditional video, every shot in a VR film is a VFX shot. There is a significant amount of work that needs to be done to take the camera footage that you get from these camera arrays, and then be able to get it onto in a format that you can actually edit and work with. So there's usually a whole step called stitching that we have to do. So essentially every shot is a VFX shot. But then specifically for the Faceless Lady, we were integrating things like CGI, and there's like some gore effects. There's like some CGI birds at one scene. In some cases we're actually cleaning some stuff up. I actually have a video that I'll show. So I'm going to show a trailer, and then I'll show like a little bit of our VFX cleanup reel to kind of give you some sense of the kind of work that we did on that project.
And these will be viewable on a Quest 3 or a Apple Vision Pro, or just a Quest 3 or 2?
Yeah, this one is exclusive to the Quest. So Quest 2 or Quest 3, it's available in MetaQuest TV. It is not available on Apple headsets.
hear me?
You can still hear you?
Yeah. When you're experiencing, because I had this experience, folks, where I was inside of a environment, but I literally was inside of a video. So imagine you're watching a video, then imagine that you're in it and you're walking beside the lead characters. You're in an avatar. It's as if you're not there. You're just standing beside the main character as they walk. So you're moving. Tell me how you experience this when you are in a headset, let's say with Faceless Lady.
Yes, with the Faceless Lady, you're not able to move around inside the video. That is
Okay.
a technology that is going to be coming in the future at some point.
Yep.
This is what's called a stereoscopic 180 video, and so
Okay.
your viewpoint is really just as you as the observer, and the camera does move, but that is only because we actually move the physical camera in the scene. So
Got it.
so
Got
that
it.
is kind of how that
Okay.
works. So usually these are seated experiences. So you're usually in a chair or a swivel chair,
Okay.
and the Faceless Lady is really intended for you to be able to sit on a couch and just sort of take in the
Which
view.
is nice. Which is nice because we know that VR, right? VR has some, it gets tiring. I've been on a headset sometimes for 3 hours and it's, yeah, but it is extravagantly unbelievable though when you're experiencing that. I noticed when you shot that video, I'm not seeing it right here yet, but
I can play the trailer next if you're ready.
yeah, it definitely felt very, very 3D, even here on this screen here in frame.
Yeah, well, let me play the trailer, and then people at home
Okay.
can get a sense of what
Okay,
the
great.
show is. Oops. Oops, looks like my video's not working, or my sound's not working, but yeah, let me just.
Oh, that looks very cool.
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to.
Even just the visual on it.
We can do, the visuals are fine, but as you can see, it's made like a TV show. It's really intended to use that language that we're kind of traditionally we're used to in cinema, but convert that for VR headsets. So all 6 episodes are available now on the MetaQuest TV platform. So if you have a MetaQuest, you can go ahead and check these out. Each one is about 22 minutes long. There is a little bit of gore in there, but
sure.
well,
let's face it, the world likes their gore. And tell me, when you're experiencing that and folks and they have a Quest, then they can do you need to download that just like you would off of the store for other apps?
You can choose to either stream it or you can cache a higher quality version of it that I think is probably the 7 or 8 gigabytes, I would say. I don't know the exact data of it, but
Right.
you can stream it as well. So directly from kind of just like a YouTube video if you'd like.
Well, and also I will say that now that I have my own little private Idaho here in frame, because you can do that, you can stream it. I think that would be possible to play it on a PC. Would that be possible? And then we can put it on a screen just like we did now on a video. Maybe I'm overstepping here. And that's not possible.
Yeah, I think it's still because it's a MetaQuest exclusive. It's just available inside the headset, and that's really where it's really intended for viewing inside VR headsets.
Yeah,
it wasn't shot or created in a way that makes sense for that.
Right. Well, it's an exciting turn of the industry, and now I think we're starting to see more mainstream things, which is very, very exciting. So, I'm thrilled that you joined us. And where do we find you? Just
so
Foyer?
We can find us really. Let me just skip ahead here to.
Sure.
I'll show you a little bit of the VFX kind of work. So we're doing stuff like this. We're like replacing screens.
Right.
Adding in CGI, adding in gunshots, removing lights, adding, changing green screen, adding all sorts of things. So this is kind of like what VFX means for VR.
And if people want to see this trailer, can they find it somewhere? Do you have a YouTube channel where you can find it?
It is available on Crypt TV's YouTube channel. So you can just search in Faceless Lady and you can see all that. Some clips and some stuff of that online. But if you want to reach us, we are at voyeur.com, and there's my email address that you can grab if you have a question. But yeah, we kind of just like specialize in 360 immersive cinema is really what we do. So if there's, so we're kind of on the content creation side. So if clients have, questions or, want to inquire about creating their own content in this space, we're happy to kind of guide them in like what format and and how it might actually be produced. So.
Well, that's a lot of it too. And I find that's really helpful when creators can be able to walk clients through that process to help them understand how that might take place and what are the steps. Because it's a process, but wow, this is impressive. Thank you so much for joining us, Scott. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We're happy that you're here, and you can find them at voyeur.com. Awesome. Thanks so much, Scott. Okay. We are on to the next startup here is Mechdyne. We have Dave, and you can correct my pronunciation.
Zabadol.
Zabadol. Love it. Okay. So Mechdyne, I'm interested in creating. They create high performance extended reality, and they actually have it's called HyperXR. It's 3D stereoscopic LED and AV solutions, and we're going to talk a little bit about what that is. Really pushing beyond the handheld or the head-worn. They're large scale, so think about large scale engineering environments, large scale design, teaching, remote collaboration, critical briefings, and applications like esports, virtual broadcast, AI-enabled workflows. Nice. Well, thank you so much for being here, Dave, and welcome to VR Air Chicago.
Yeah, thank you for the introduction. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Zabel with Mechdyne, and we create custom XR systems. We have an office here in the Chicago area, and I'm here demoing a snippet of our large HyperX solutions, historically called cave systems. What I have here today is a portable demo unit, but all this technology directly scales to larger solutions like the one you see here. First, a quick overview of the demo technology. Our XR solutions are comprised of multiple technologies. There's 4 main features of how these technologies bring together an in-person VR experience. First, there's a stereoscopic display. It's a large visual window into the virtual world. And then second is a viewer-centered perspective where the user sees the correct view into the virtual world. Third is the user controls that a user experiences user interaction in 3D. And then finally, the VR experience itself, which is driven by our Get Real 3D software and the compute solutions that are tailored for these technologies. I'm going to quick walk through the different components of what I'm demoing here today. There's the video wall, which is comprised of LED panel tiles. There's an LED controller that drives the LED tiles. Then a VR workstation that connects the LED controller. Next is optical motion tracking, which provides high precision infrared tracking of the glasses and the controller that are being followed with reflective markers that are attached. And then there's radio frequency LCD glasses that flicker the left and right eyes in sync with the display. Then a tracked gamepad, and that's used for the interaction and navigation and user interface. Lastly is our Get Real 3D software, and that's for Unity. It's a plugin and it drives the whole experience. And Get Real 3D also enables scaling of the graphics compute to run on very large cluster of computers. And then when all of this comes together, this is what the experience is like. So this is a large LED volume we created for Thomas Jefferson University, and it's used for visualizing design, engineering, architectural data, and medical data, all in stereoscopic 3D. And this LED volume is also designed to be used for virtual production as well. So our roots are in these large-scale VR systems, and we've been doing this for like over 25 years. Think of these cave systems as great forums for bringing multidisciplinary teams together for data visualization and really to expedite consensus between teams. I'll just briefly show you some examples of the different types of cave systems that we've done around the world. Displayed here is the Immersive Design Center that we created for Raytheon. Here is a cave system at Rowan University. There they use it with medical students. They can use this to learn anatomy and see everything being very immersed in stereoscopic 3D. It's a very interesting use case as well. This is a VR cave system that we created for Birkbeck at University of London. It's used as a medium for toddler research where they identify early signs of developmental disorders in children. This is another system at cave system for National Institute of Aviation Research where they use this to evaluate and visualize aircraft design. This is the chill lab that we created for Lockheed. And so as HMDs became more mainstream, we became experts at the integration of these HMDs with cave systems and their simultaneous and network use. On the right is a cave system that we use, created for Tufts University. They use this for soldier research, and we integrated an omnidirectional treadmill with this system. And on the left is called a WAVE system, and this is created for the Uniformed Services University of Health Sciences. And they use this there to train first responders in the armed forces to deal with wartime casualties and other public health emergencies. This gives you a sense of like the scale of this system. This is at one end of the system, and this is the other end of the system. And the two are connected together with a corridor that you see here. Right now, we're in the process of actually retrofitting this whole simulation environment with from projection to all direct view LED with active stereo. Another example of something created for Carnegie Viz Labs. This allows them to bring astronomy data into their Center for Visualization Research and school visits for things like group tours and open house events. And this is just a sample of some of the clients that we work with around the world. You can see that we work with a lot of disciplines and a lot of different verticals. So it's a little overview of what Mechdyne does. Thanks for listening. If you've got any questions and would like to connect, you can scan this or reach me at my email or cell.
That's awesome. And I did ask, I just was curious about size of those. So I know some are different sizes, but give us a sense of the real estate that this takes up and how big those things are.
Yeah, it's a good question. We can make these any shape or size. So this could be something like 50 feet wide and 12 feet tall. It can be a convex curve. It can have a ceiling. It can have a floor. We have LED panels that people can walk on. So it's really what's your use case? What's the type of data that you want to visualize? And then we custom tailor that to your use case.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for coming, Dave. And for all of you out there, you see that you can find them at Mechdyne. And this is pretty exciting stuff. There's so many different use cases. We really appreciate your coming tonight. And thanks so much.
Sure, you're welcome.
All right. We're on to the next. And we have up next, we have Peter Gosseler from Mimbus. And Mimbus is interesting. I did some checking around and they do some really interesting stuff. There's one thing that I was really interested in looking at was they have logistics training that look at the occupational risk of certain roles. But they're based in Chicago and they provide immersive learning solutions for skilled trades. They have a nationwide network of partners and the founder and CEO is Laurent, and maybe we'll hear Laurent Dedalto. And really, you have different ways that you can discover your talents. We've had a couple of companies here that do similar things, but Mimbus is doing some really interesting stuff, and we're really, really happy that they're here. So welcome, Mimbus.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having
Sure.
us here.
Sure.
So I will run a video on background that you can see while I will introduce our just to show you and give some graphics on the background of my talk. So I'm Laurent, I'm the founder of the company. As you can hear with my accent, I'm from France.
I really mutilated Laurent. Okay, I'll try Laurent.
It's good. You say it quite well. That auto is more complicated. So yeah, the company has been created in France, but we doing 80% of our revenue abroad. So it's been now 13 years that we're working in immersive training solution for skilled trades. So we are really focused on training people on these hands-on things for skilled trades like welding. We started with welding 20 years ago, we did, and then painting, electricity, HVAC, well, you name it. We really addressing all the kind of markets. So it can be Asia, Europe, Africa, America, of course. We're working a lot with NGO like UNESCO, World Bank for emerging country. So we have a branch dedicated to social impact activities for education, for disabled people, for socially
So
disabled people.
Right.
And the content we are providing is really hands-on. It's both. It's two different things that are essential for education. It's immersive experience, like what you can see here for plumbing,
Right.
combined with data analysis on the cloud for the learning process. And I really focus on that because I think today it's really essential when you want to deploy an immersive training solution. It's immersive and training. And sometimes today you're focusing on the fact that it's wow, it's in the VR headset, it's fun and all that thing. But what will it bring in terms of education, individual follow-up of the kids, skills, upskilling these people? That's really the key. So today what we created a platform called Volcan. It's a cloud platform that can connect to any kind of immersive experience and collect data from this experience to turn that into skills analysis and control for the teacher of the individual learning process.
That's really powerful. Yeah, to be able to control that it sort of is learners can be at their own pace.
Exactly. It's based on Azure. It's combining artificial intelligence and data collection. So for instance, we are able to say, if you are working on our platform and for a while, we are able to tell you, oh, you have this kind of skills, you have this talent, so have a look at this kind of job, because in your area, there's a need for that much welder with this salary, and you can get to this training center, and in 2 years, you will get your job. So thanks to the artificial intelligence, we can say that today. So that's really the core of our activity. We also have a part of the activity called Members Academy, which is a training program for teachers or people that are doing these kind of things using VR. Because also today, if you're providing the tool and the platform, it's not enough. You need to rethink really the way you're teaching. It's a real revolution for the instructor. And we have micro-certification, validation, open badge for the teacher to turn him into an immersive teacher. And again, I focus on that today because if you not have a trained team that is able to manipulate this kind of amazing tool, it will never work. And we proved it among thousands of players everywhere on the planet.
Yeah, I think that's so important. And I think that we have to think about these companies as not being an island. So if you can empower other people and really change how people go through their education themselves, so it'd be great to start seeing this recognized through master's programs. And again, like you said, competency-based learning with credentialing is the secret, right? And I just think that must have been a process though for you to get to that point. I'm curious about that journey for you.
Yeah, it's a long process. It took me 20 years. Initially, I'm coming from the research. I have a PhD in VR. And by combining skills, expert skills and trades, pedagogists, psychologists sometimes, and skills, technical skills, of course, VR skills. We've been able to identify the best way to go through that. And really the learning skills and the learning power of the application is really the core of the discussion today. We don't want to create just a game for fun. We want to create something where you will learn naturally without telling you, oh, we will train you on safety today. No, you do something, and because you do it well, you will do it safely. So that's really the power of VR.
And then it advances as you get to accomplish these tasks. Is that right? So it goes on to the next thing as you check the boxes and are able to accomplish the task.
Exactly, and it's like a game design in that case, because
it's
you have
gamified.
level design. You're moving forward. It's like playing Assassin's Creed, and you do 100% at the end.
Right.
You're happy. But it's the same here. But at the end, you get a job. So that's main.
Yes. Well, I'd like to see something like this replace the SATs. My son just took the SATs, and I just think, oh my gosh, are we so far behind? Right? We just think about how we test these competencies. It's really crazy. Well, that's really, really incredible. And where can we find you?
Sorry?
Oh, where can we find you?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you can go on our website, membus.com.
Okay.
Where you will get all the information.
Okay.
The contact information for the US branch and the global branch. And also I invite you to go on YouTube and check Members channel, where you get a lot of video of everything we did.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, everybody. Peter, it's been a pleasure, and we're excited about seeing where this goes. So fabulous. Oh, and sorry, it's Laurent.
It's Laurent, but it's fine.
Laurent,
I
I mispronounced. I'm getting there. Slow, but getting there. Terrific. Thanks so much for coming today.
Thanks a lot.
Okay. Well, you just heard we have yet another creator, and this is the kind of innovation that this community in XR has. And I think people don't really realize that. They think there might be a couple of companies that do this kind of work, but when you start to get underneath the hood and have this kind of event that we were excited to have, which at VR Air Chicago is really about our community and how can we bring our community outward to the larger population. So next up, we have a company called Enduvo, and Chris Pinciata is going to join us, and maybe it might also be Tim Robinson and Tim Quinn. But Enduvo enables organizations to leverage the power of immersive technology to easily transform training programs. And you've been hearing a lot about training programs, and it really gives you a sense that that is literally one of the areas, education and training is literally one of the areas that this country needs the most, and not just this country, the world. They have a no-code platform, which I think they're going to unpack here, which is great. And it's easy for anybody to create high-quality simulated content. Enduvo users can develop interactive learning experiences to help people learn faster, retain information, and collaborate more effectively. Isn't that what we all want to do? So I'm really excited to have you all here tonight. Welcome, Enduvo. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. And again, my name is Tim Quinn. I'm with Enduvo, part of the team based out of here in Chicago, and we really value this opportunity. Listening to what you just said there and thinking about end users when it comes to immersive technology, there's key things that have to happen. One, it has to be simple, and two, it has to be impactful. And as we're working on the floor here, there's a lot of people coming up and deeply involved in VR, and that's what's needed to drive the technology in this market. But what Enduvo has done is work to be that simple solution to allow anyone, any subject matter expert, whether it be a teacher, a manager, a safety provider, anybody that's teaching technical concepts that needs to demonstrate them in a live situation to today's modern learner. So let's call those modern learners digital natives. And my kids that are in their 30s or younger, they're going, I don't want to sit through a lecture. I don't
100%.
want to read a book. I want to be involved with the smartest person I can find that can answer my questions as fast as I can. And
Right.
so if something happens at home these days and it breaks, you go to YouTube first and you
Yes, you
check to
do.
see if you can fix it in YouTube. And then you start looking for the best subject matter expert. So
Right.
while we're talking a little bit here, I'm just going to run this video that kind of shows key components of Induvo. And what is Induvo? It's a very simple platform that allows any subject matter expert to create immersive content in real time. That's the front end of it, is the creation. The back end of it is the distribution, to be able to share it as appropriate to the right people. So as you're looking here, you see the platform. It looks like a YouTube, or it looks like
It
a
does.
Spotify.
Right.
And all of these things here are 5-minute or less experiences that were created by anyone very quickly. And what did they do? They decided that they were going to create something. They gave it a name. They gave it a thumbnail, as we're doing here. And they said, I'm going to create a learning experience. Now, might be very long, so I'm going to create a whole bunch of Lego block type sizes of 5-minute experiences, and then be able to bundle those together to create a full aspect of this. Why is that valuable to the user? Because one, they can watch it at their speed and keep going back and looking forward and stopping wherever. But in the future, if they want just that one piece of information, they can. They don't have to watch all the different experiences. They can go right to where they're started. So look at the screen right now. You can see that there's some key things in here. There's a 3D image. The 3D images come from the user, and they're able to bring them into the system very, very quickly. We've been able to experience and bring them in quickly for over 50 different types of 3D image. So if you find it, we can bring it into the system transparently.
And it looks like it's a drag and drop. Is that right? So they're just
Exactly
literally
right. Drag
dragging
and
and
drop.
dropping things.
And
Nice.
a question people always ask is, how do I get those images? And now there's a lot of free places that are going to. I hope that in the future that any manufacturer is supposed to provide a 3D image with their materials as they sell it. And I think the market is going there.
Yes.
And then there's other things of experience. I just met a gentleman out there that's a teacher of construction management. I don't know anything about construction management, but he kind of laid it out. And I'm like, do you already use certain things to teach? And he said, yep. And I'm like, you could use all of those and more to create an experience like this.
Right.
So again, that's the creation. And I would say that as the VR, AR, XR marketplace continues to evolve, content rules. Content is key. And what Induvo has done here is created a way for anyone to create content, but do it quickly and easily. And it doesn't matter how complicated the solution is. We can deal with it if you have the assets to show it.
And is it sort of like you have this library essentially, and that's always being built and added to as time goes on?
Exactly. You have like a playlist, if you will, like Lego blocks. You keep creating these experiences. Now, big businesses always have in place a learning management system that wants to know how their users are doing. What did they experience? When did they log on? When did they log off? What kind of score did they get? If they took the class once and did bad in a specific area, is there AI there that can look into it and say, yep, this is where you need to refresh? And if you do better on that, you'll do better. So all of that's built into the system and continues to evolve. And so it's all about the learning experience from end to end.
Well, I think that's incredible too. And I think that the fact that, so it really functions almost like a YouTube channel only.
Exactly.
And that I think is where all of us are, we want to have that sort of one place to go for things. So that's amazing. Well, I'm excited about it. And for those of you, how do we find you?
So definitely go out to induvo.com.
Okay.
There's key videos there. The first thing you'll see is a video that explains it. Second of all, there's lots of details that are there. And thirdly, as you know, just contact the company. We'd love to have a discussion and how to get someone off the ground very quickly.
Amazing. I really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being here tonight with VR Chicago, Chris and Everybody go check out Induvo, and it sounds like there's lots of videos you can watch and you can see how they work, or reach out and get in touch. All right, that sounds good, Chris. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much.
Okay. All right, our next guest tonight is one that I'm excited about, and they are involved in haptics. And for those of you, that term, it might be new to you, but essentially it's all the things you can touch and feel. And I will tell you that I went to AWE last year, the largest XR conference, and I experienced haptic gloves. And I will tell you, it was mind-blowing. And I hung out and had a spider walk across my hand and a little fox that I hung out with. It blew my mind. So tonight we have Joe Mullenbeck from Fluid Reality, and they are demonstrating in Chicago some fingertip displays, each with 32 individual haptic pixels, which once you start learning about this stuff, that's a lot. They have built these arrays into prototype controllers, as well as lightweight wireless haptic glove. And that's the glove makes you feel like a rock star, first of all. The technology is still in production, but you'll have a little bit of a sneak peek into it. But welcome, Joe. We're so happy that you're here tonight.
Great. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I am one of the co-founders of Fluid Reality, and our goal is to enable your hands for spatial computing.
Sweet.
To use your hands effectively, and I'm just talking about in real life, you need to be able to do more than just track your hands in space. You also need the sense of touch. And to use your hands effectively for spatial computing, you need something to provide good haptic feedback. Unfortunately, the hardware needed to provide good haptic feedback just isn't available today. So we have been working on that problem, and we've developed new technology at Fluid Reality, and we're introducing a new haptic display paradigm. So we produce tiny pixel-like bubble actuators that imprint dynamic tactile images onto your skin. These things are lightweight, they're compact, they're high resolution, and very importantly, they're scalable to consumer level devices. We can integrate these into controllers or mount them onto your fingertips.
Wow.
And here's that haptic glove that you were talking about. We built them into a full haptic glove to touch virtual reality. So this is the prototype. It's fully wireless. It has a tactile display on each fingertip with 160 individual haptic actuators in total.
That was a lot more than 32. So that's a lot.
30. So.
Oh, perfect. Wow.
Yeah.
So those are based on your senses. And so when you talk about the haptics, that means in your research, you have to understand what are the senses do when it's just your hand, right? And you're touching things. So there's a whole map, right? I mean, that's so fascinating. It's like really a human body map.
Yeah, absolutely. Your skin is similar to the retina in that it takes in information spatially, not just over time.
Okay.
So with this, you can feel objects. When you touch an object, the corresponding pixels press into your skin. So you can feel edges. You can feel textures like a metal grate or paper or wood grain. And you can even distinguish material properties like how hard or how soft, how squishy something is.
How about things like wind? Can you feel like a breeze?
Yeah, I believe we can simulate some breeze. Yeah,
that'd be insane if you're meditating or something, or you're somewhere where you want to feel the breeze or the wind, or just, for people who are disabled and they can't go outside, or just, I mean, the implications of this are huge.
Yeah, I love that. And when you pull together a bunch of these properties, you can start to have really interesting experiences, like playing a virtual violin and feeling the individual strings.
Wish we had that little thing when I was, had kids. Don't put your finger in the socket or into the fan.
Yeah,
Just imagine.
That actually was doing a little virtual breeze there.
Oh, wow. So for those of you who haven't felt this, it's one of those that takes your brain and you just can't really understand how it is your brain is feeling that at that moment. At least that's what I was going through when I felt it. And I didn't want to give it up when it wasn't, my turn had ended and I had to wait till the next person came in line.
Yeah, some people like it just as a fingertip massage.
Yeah.
But we're just getting started. Ultimately, we see this type of haptic display taking the same road that visual displays have taken. So higher pixel count, higher resolution, more surface area, and going from big bulky things into compact, flat, flexible things. So
I could see that also, in terms of like design, industrial design, especially what you're describing right there would be essentially a tablet of some sort or a surface. Yeah. So creating or molding things that need to be like 3D printed or modeled or something. Yeah. So the gloves are a totally different device, is what you're saying, using the same technology.
Yeah. So we're building the core actuator technology.
The infrastructure layer. Okay. So you're building the things that can be built on top of it.
That can be built into controllers.
Very cool.
Can be built into this like Braille type display.
Right. Wow. I mean, it's just endless. And where can people, I can see there you have fluidreality.com. And you're based in Chicago and you're hiring. What positions are you hiring right now?
Right now we're hiring electrical engineers and software engineers.
Very cool. Okay. Wow. Well, this is an exciting field. And, I know I had remembered haptics. It's been around a really long, long time, but it must feel as though the industry is just catching this huge wave of stride with the power that we now have with computing and just the pure, enabling that we've now had to get to this point. So it really must have taken a lot of industries, a lot of advancements so that this could then become to a level now we get sort of interesting, right?
Yeah, it's an exciting time.
That's awesome. Well, we're really appreciated. Thank you so much for coming today. I really wish I was in Chicago right now, but that's all right. So Joe Mullenbach, thank you so much. We're so happy that you're here, and everybody check them out. All right. Take care. All right, folks. Well, that is wrapping up our whole slew. It's pretty incredible, isn't it? To think that we have with us in that one spot all of these creators that have leveraged this technology in a lot of different ways. This whole industry, if you haven't seen it already in terms of people you talk to, people that you are doing business with, this is really reaching a pinnacle point. And I know that many of you had heard and thought that the Apple Vision Pro is another turning point that we're now at, because this adoption curve has just started exploding. So I think that what we can all agree on is that we have multiple ways to interact with these technologies, right? It's not all headset. It can be a phone, it can be a tablet, it can be your computer, it can be a headset. And that, to me, is when a technology kind of rises up to the top. But for anybody else out there who has not attended the VR Air Chicago, please join us. We can be found at the first Wednesday of every month. And I'm usually here in frame, but we've also done it on multiple platforms. And we really dive into specific industries. So we talk about things in the hospitality industry or in medicine or in manufacturing or a whole host of different things, because there's just so much to learn and we have so many incredible people here. I also want to give a shout out to Tom Packard and Eric and Matt, who's here virtually up here at the top of over here. He's over. He's not with us, but he's with us just like me. So thank you all for coming tonight. And again, if you have any questions, please go ahead and go to vrarchicago.com and you can find us there. So have a great evening, everybody. And I'll be here for a few minutes for those in the virtual space. Awesome.